A very good morning to you. Welcome to my thought for the day. I'm looking at Matthew chapter 11, verse 29, which says, Jesus speaking, he says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Well-known verses. I was thinking just about the wonderful picture this gives of us, the idea of a yoke. A yoke was a wooden, quite a big wooden piece that was shaped to go over the shoulders of two oxen that were tied together by the yoke, linked together by the yoke. And they were used to do work, to pull carts or pull a plough or work together in some husbandry work. And usually they yoked together a well-seasoned, experienced oxen with a young, inexperienced one. And because they were tied together, the young one couldn't go in his own direction. He would have to go in the direction of the seasoned oxen. And the older seasoned oxen would be the one who would take most of the burden, who would pull more than the young one, because the young one would be frisky and would be less well trained, until they get to the point where they pull together. Now Jesus is saying to us, every day we have work to do. Every day we have things we have to do. And every day we can choose to be yoked to Jesus, or we can choose to do things our own way. God doesn't force us to do anything. He doesn't force us. He doesn't make us do things. Think about the prodigal son, the story of the prodigal son. The father gave the son his head and let him do what he wished with all that money and wealth. He didn't force him to stay at home. And God respects our autonomy. You know, He loves us enough to let us find the truth for ourselves. However much He longs for us to all know Him and follow Him, He doesn't force us at all. Indeed, this comes as a verse after one before, which is another invitation. There are a lot of invitational verses in the scriptures, and that is in Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you." I think Jesus is saying, if you're burdened, if you're struggling with the things in your life, you're struggling with everything that you're trying to do, if you come and be yoked with me, we'll share the work. I'll do it with you. I'll walk with you. And if you keep in step with me, the tasks you have to do will be easier. They'll be lighter. Because God isn't trying to wear us out. He isn't trying to exhaust us. He's not trying to make things difficult for us. Jesus himself said, "I've come that you may have life and have it in all its abundance." He came to give us life, full life, not a struggle in everything. And sometimes when we struggle, it's because we refuse to do things his way. Either that, or we refuse to let him share the burden that we're carrying. There's a lot of individualization in our modern world. You know, you never really show the kind of person you are if you're always being helped with the tasks that you have to do. But even Jesus, you know, when he went into the wilderness and he was tempted, Matthew says in Matthew 4, I think it's Matthew, in Matthew 4:11, "And the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him." Jesus received help and succor and comfort and strengthening. He didn't have to do it alone. The angels came and helped him. You know, here we are with Jesus saying, "Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." There's one place that gives perfect peace, and that is in the heart of the Prince of Peace. And as we learn his ways, and as we align ourselves with him in every task that comes our way, we will discover that things that seemed very, very hard are not that hard after all. The anticipation of them is harder than the actual doing of them. It's so true often that our anxiety about what we might have to do is much worse than the actual task itself. So here we have Jesus saying, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." He's not saying there isn't a burden, and he's not saying there isn't a yoke. But if we choose to do it with him, walking in step with him each day, and we can say today, "Lord, teach me how to walk in step with you. Teach me how to walk closer in step with you than I do at the moment." None of us have achieved it fully. We're all trying, wanting to know God better, wanting to hear God more clearly, wanting to be following him more closely. So make that your prayer today. Respond to this. Come to me, all who labour and are heavy laden. Come to him today and take his yoke on you and learn from him. God bless you. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully my voice will be a bit better tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.